Good evening, Stephen.
Hi, Jono.
You've just written an article about the pressures of covering everything that needs to be done in an exam class. So what's the
Sure.
background to this? What got you thinking about this topic?
So when I first started teaching exam classes, it was actually in South America, and I hadn't really taught them before. So I wasn't quite aware of what was involved in delivering an effective exams course. But at the same time, I was quite lucky because a lot of the students I had, they were quite young, their English was quite good. They were teenagers who were influenced by American films and things like that. So they were kind of already quite strong learners. And for that reason, the exam courses were quite relaxed and quite easygoing. But then when I came to London to do my Delta a few years later, all of a sudden I was teaching adult professionals who had no real interest in learning the language. They purely needed the Cambridge certificates from the Cambridge exams for career development. And all of a sudden it became quite stressful and quite pressurizing, especially because the courses were part-time as well, and the learners had other commitments like family and full-time high-powered jobs and things like that.
Yeah, that definitely resonates with my experience as well. I know what you mean. So what's one key idea that our readers will get from the article?
So when I started studying for the Delta, I chose exam classes as a specialism, and I started to get a real sense of what was involved in an effective exam course and how much content you need to get in there. So one of the main things I think that readers can get from this is how you can fully exploit texts, exam texts. So we quite often hear a lot about how we should use the text anyway. So learners might do a reading exam practice or listening exam practice. Then you look at the text or the transcript and you look for new vocabulary and things like that. But the article suggests going one step further than that and actually recycling the same exam text to deliver more exam practice. So it's basically a time-saving strategy, but there are also many other benefits to it as well.
Yeah, that's definitely something I got from it, was that idea of being really strategic about the way that you exploit the text and using the text for different purposes, grammar and the vocabulary and things. Yeah. Good. Okay. And so from here, I'm just thinking about your career. You mentioned Delta. Where are you going from here? What are your plans?
I do quite like the idea of writing more articles because it's quite interesting writing an article because you get to really reflect on your experiences and you really think about it in a lot more detail than you might normally would. So it's a nice way to kind of consolidate your experience. But I've just started as a CELTA trainer, so I'm also kind of focused on that right now, and I'm hoping to one day, become a Delta trainer and progress like that. So that's kind of my aim.
So with the writing, is that the sort of case of when you have to teach and express something, put something into words, you've got to clarify your own thinking around it?
Yeah, so for example, it wasn't until I started writing the article and delivering talks about this approach that I actually realized there were more benefits that I hadn't considered before. So for example, it really helped me to realize that actually this approach in the article helps to encourage the conscious noticing of language forms. And it helps to provide what the learners will consider to be very valid exam practice within your classes. So I think it's, you learn more from putting pen to paper in a way.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Steve. We'll talk to you again
you.
and look forward to that next article.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.